Hey friend, Church D coming at you once again. Thank you for tuning in to What Does It Take to Win? Could you believe we've made it all the way to episode number 25 of the podcast? That's pretty exciting for a young man who did not talk much growing up. In fact, who was often asked if I could talk. I'm out here just talking up a storm and giving you guys advice and different tips on how to be successful and just sort of how to manage our mental health. So I think that's pretty cool. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it's helping you. I hope it's blessing you and encouraging you as well. So yeah, let me just go ahead and celebrate a little bit. Wahoo. Also, I hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. If you had a Valentine or not, hey, it's all good. You're still here and able to listen to this podcast. So enjoy it. And, I hope you're enjoying the latest album that I dropped entitled Something's Missing. So if you didn't have a Valentine, that's why, because something's missing. You see what I did there? Okay, enough with my corny jokes. But yeah, check out my whole catalog of music. Recently released Something's Missing back on January 25th of 2021. It's a pretty cool R&B project. It has 13 awesome tracks on there. It takes you on an emotional roller coaster, if you will. But I've been getting a ton of great reviews, getting a lot of streams. Some people have even purchased it, so that's great to hear. If you haven't heard it as of yet, go ahead and check it out. You can also look at my other music that I released in the past, starting with The Bare Minimum 2.0. So the title of the actual record is The Cactus, and it's Bare Minimum 2.0. I dropped that back in May 2019. That was my very first album that I put out. Then I put out a single in March of 2020 by the name of The Vision. That's a pretty awesome futuristic jazz vibe type of record. Got a lot of great reviews on that one as well. And in June of 2020, I dropped an EP by the name of The Big Reveal. It has 6 songs on that project. It has some jazz, hip hop, R&B vibes to it, but it's all good, clean music that you can play for any and everybody. So yeah, I just want you guys to go out there and just check it out. Also, if you need instrumentals, if you need beats or production done, you can just go ahead and reach out to me. I'm on SoundClick if you want to go ahead and just download some instrumentals really quickly. I have over 100 instrumentals and beats uploaded that are ready to go for content creators like myself. Obviously, if you enjoyed the jingle at the beginning of this podcast, that's something I composed on my own. So if you're looking for something of that caliber, or if you're just, a rapper, a songwriter, singer, whatever the case may be, and you need some music to vibe to, go ahead, head over to soundclick.com/churchd, and you can go ahead and just download it immediately. Some of the files are tagged with my vocals. You can also get the ones that are untagged. And you can also grab exclusive rights. So I'll even send you stems. You just have to send me a quick DM, and we can talk about the pricing for that and go from there. Okay, so I think I'm done with my little promo for now. I know that was like a mouthful, but yeah, if I don't do it, who will do it, right? Also, I want to give a quick shout out to my listeners. I haven't done that, so it's episode 25. I want to give a quick shout out to my listeners all the way in Japan, Germany. I think I have some listeners in Switzerland, all across the United States, of course. I think I saw some in Ireland, Italy, and in Kenya as well, and some in Tanzania. So if you're listening to this podcast abroad, if you're not local in the United States, I thank you for listening. And I celebrate you. I really appreciate you. I hope everything that I'm saying can be of some good use for you and just help you out and help to balance out your mental health. And just, put you in a great space so you can succeed. Okay. So, yeah, that's my little presentation, I guess, if you will, at the beginning of this podcast. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. So this episode is going to deal with pain. And it's like a part 2, because I did do a previous episode entitled Pain in My Neck. And that episode basically talks about how to deal with the pain and, what pain is. But this episode sort of talks about the pain that's coming when it's time to become successful, and, just, again, how to deal with it as well. But just to sort of let you know that, hey, when pain is knocking at your door, when you're starting to feel that pressure and you're starting to feel that pain, just rest assured that success is literally right around the corner, or probably clawing at your door, if you will. Okay, so the title for this episode is called It's Going to Hurt, pain's purpose. And I have just a couple quick points here that I wanted to share with you all. Okay. So the first point is that pain comes with growth. The second point is to stay focused through the pain, not on the pain. And the third and final point is to just know that when you're in a season of pain, progress is right around the corner. So let's start off with the first point. Now, it's a bit of a mystery to me. I'm just going to keep it real, but I've noticed that in order to level up or in order to make progress, you go through like a season of pain. I don't know why. I'm not sure why it was designed that way or who designed it that way, but it just is what it is. And it's something that I've learned to deal with. But to jump into point number one, pain comes with growth. So we have to keep in mind that as we grow, things begin to become uncomfortable. Think of a child, or think back to when you were a child or children and all that good stuff. You can't wear the same clothes that you wore when you were a child. It's just not possible. It would be very uncomfortable. You'll realize that, okay, one summer you may have purchased a pair of shoes that fit. Then the next summer you're trying to squeeze your feet into it and you're like, oh man, I can't wear these. It's uncomfortable. Or you might try to put a shirt on or some trousers and it's like, okay, this is very uncomfortable. It's not fitting me. Well, yeah, it's becoming uncomfortable because you're now outgrowing that stage of life, if you will. And it's time for you to move on to something that's bigger, better, and more fitting to you. Okay. Do you see where I'm going with this now? So that doesn't only apply to clothing and shoes, of course, but it applies to your life. You can apply it to relationships, your careers, different projects you're working on, people, etc. Sometimes we get to the point where it's like becoming uncomfortable. You might hang around a certain group of friends, or you might have hung around a certain group of friends growing up, let's say for several years, and then all of a sudden, a lot of the conversations are becoming more and more uncomfortable. That could just be a sign that, okay, it might be time to move on to something, to some people who are bigger and better, and that will better suit you for your destiny, if you will. Or it might be like a relationship. You might be with this person for a while, and I don't want this to happen to anybody, of course. I'd love to see relationships flourish, like especially from day one. I don't like them just ending, but sometimes you get with people and it's like, okay, you were just supposed to be with me for a season to sort of teach me a lesson, or maybe I was supposed to teach you a lesson, and we have to part ways, onto something bigger and better. It is what it is. It's cool. But just know that there'll be some pain when something like that happens. So just make sure you're paying attention to this. I don't want to give you the wrong advice and, you go back and you start arguing with your friends or family members and say, you know what, I was listening to Church D's podcast and he said, because we're knocking heads, it means it's time for us to move on from one another. No, that's not what I'm saying. But just make sure you're paying close attention. If you need to seek wise counsel from an elder or somebody that's very trustworthy, and just, talk about it. But just make sure you're not missing the bigger picture, because honestly, you could have opportunity literally knocking right at your door. And because you're kind of scared to grow, or you don't want to feel the pain of growth, you might just sort of shun the very opportunities that will propel you into where you're supposed to be, into like these like high levels and high places. So that's pretty much it for point number one. You'll begin to outgrow certain things, and you'll begin to feel uncomfortable, discomfort, the pain, if you will. It's just because it's time for you to go on to another level, and it's normal. Hey, I felt it. I'm still feeling it today, so it's all good. And also like in fitness, when you're working out, you might have like your trainer or your coach, they'll be like screaming at you and say, if you're feeling that pain or the soreness, it's because that's just showing that the weakness is leaving your body. So pain is weakness leaving your body. So, when you feel this pain, whether it's emotional or whatever, it's just a weakness that's leaving. You know what I'm saying? I hope you caught on to that one. Once you end this podcast, it might resonate. But let's move on to point number two, and that's to stay focused through the pain and not on the pain. I know it's kind of hard to remind ourselves. It's kind of hard for me to remember sometimes, but pain is just temporary. It's not going to be with you forever. It's very seasonal. if you will. You usually go through like that period of stress. It's sort of like being in school, being in college, etc., grad school, all the above. You'll start the term off lightly. So you get to know your professor. They sort of introduce the course to you. You'll do some reading. And then you get to the point where you have to take your midterms and you have to take your finals. You take all your tests and quizzes and all that good stuff. And you're studying and you're going through like a little bit of pressure, a little bit of pain. There's that really hectic point. It doesn't last for the length of the term, whether it's a semester or a trimester. Certain schools do have that, which is kind of interesting. But it doesn't last the entire length of the term. It's just for a small period. And once that period's over, you either pass the test and you move on to the next level, or you fail and you might have to repeat it or do some extra credit work to try to pull your grade up. But the point I'm trying to drive home is that pain is not eternal. It's temporary. So it's not going to be there. It's just something you're going to have to get through. And you can get through the pain. That's why I said you want to focus on your goals and don't focus on the pain itself. I'll give you an example. Look at, I think the most famous musician like ever. Well, I don't know if it's ever, but of my generation, right? Or our generation. Fact check me if you want. I don't know everything, but, let's look at Michael Jackson, right? There have been stories that, his father was abusive or whatever, or caused a lot of mental and emotional pain. And I guess even some physical pain too, because I think they said that he disciplined him, but like severely disciplined him. I don't know the full story. I wasn't there, so I'm not going to point the finger at either one of them. I think his music was amazing and the work ethic was amazing. But the point I want to drive home with speaking about this is that there was a period of time in which Michael Jackson and his brothers, the whole Jackson 5, and probably the sisters too, went through some pain. The father made sure to discipline them and say, okay, you know what, if you're going to do this routine or this dance or sing a certain way, you have to nail it. You have to do it to perfection. And of course, growing up, you just want to be a kid. You want to kind of hang out, play games, hang out with your friends and all that good stuff. But his father and the people that were working with him, I think even like after he grew up, they instilled that level of discipline through pain. And thankfully, none of them gave up. They all sort of came together and said, okay, well, this hurts right now, and it might cause, they probably weren't saying this as kids, but it might cause some emotional issues in the future. But hey, we have a goal. We want to be great. We want to be on TV. We want to be on the radio. We want to be superstars, if you will. They focused on their goals through the pain. They didn't focus on the pain itself. And so as they continued to hone their crafts and just perfect their gifts, they blew up. They became the Jackson 5. Michael Jackson became Michael Jackson. Like, he would do concerts. I would see the videos. There would be girls fainting and, all this other good stuff. And he became very rich and wealthy. He had a ton of money. So I think that's pretty awesome. How was he able to do that? He didn't focus on the pain. And so that's something I want you to take to heart. Don't focus on the pain. Just focus through the pain. Okay. Focus on your goals. So that's it for point number 2. And here's my third and final point. Just know that when you're in a season of pain, progress is right around the corner. Do I have to say anything else? I think my first 2 points speak for itself. Usually when something good is about to happen, and this happens to me all the time, I may have spoken about this on another episode. I'm sure I did. Usually when something good is about to happen, it's like the grounds begin to shake and like earthquakes happen and fireballs start falling from the sky. That's the sign that you have to hold on a little bit longer and just tough it out, because it's like I mentioned earlier, it's not going to be forever. It's temporary, and something great is going to come. You'll feel the stress for a little bit. That's fine. Stress is normal. It's just how you deal with the stress. And you got to remain calm if you can. I know it's difficult because, hey, we've all been there. It's easier said than done to remain calm when there are different things and different stressors out there sort of triggering you. but you can do it. Hey, if I did it, you can totally do it. I always talk about, my touring experience and how before I was even able to go out and hit the road, things were just really shaky. I was actually on the brink of quitting music completely, but, I just held on a little bit longer, and then I got that pretty cool. It was a text, I think, at first, and then I got a phone call. Then I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I could do this. And then, one thing led to another, and it sort of just took off from there. So now anytime I deal with any sort of pain, yes, it really affects me. It hurts at the moment or at the period in time or like the season of pain, but I can just see through the pain and know that, okay, this is going to be temporary. It's not going to be lasting forever. I can make it through. If you want to, you can check this out. Check out Job, or the book of Job in the Bible. And it basically talks about how, this man, he had, a pretty decent life, and he lost everything. It was taken away from him. He experienced a lot of pain, but in the end, he got like double what he had before. So, yeah, check it out. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to have a similar situation as Job. I don't want that for anybody. I definitely don't want that for myself. But you can definitely learn from that story. And I think that will encourage you, and it will help you out to sort of see that, okay, yes, if homie made it through the pain, then I most definitely can make it through myself. Okay. So that was my third and final point. Let's do a quick recap. The first point is that pain comes with growth. As you grow, things that used to fit and be comfortable, they're no longer comfortable. You've outgrown them. It's time to move on to the bigger and better picture. Point number 2, stay focused through the pain, but not on the pain. The pain is temporary. It's not going to be there forever. So you're going to make it through onto something bigger and better. And point number 3, just know that when you're in a season of pain, progress is right around the corner. As I mentioned, Job was going through that season of pain, but his progress was right around the corner. In fact, he got double for his trouble. So I hope you guys take heed to what I'm saying, and I hope you're blessed by this. Thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope it blessed you, and I hope it encouraged you. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to share this. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with people you don't even like. Share it with that person who keeps bothering you for advice. I got you covered. And lastly, if you'd like to connect with me, just click the link in the description for all of my content. I have some great things in store for you. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.